Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Okay, yeah, I think I have it now. All right, cool. I hope we can see my screen. I hope I'm not on my own. Hello, can we see the screen?
Yeah, we can see it clearly. You're not on your own.
What's going on? Okay. I think it's okay now. All right, so welcome everybody. So sorry. I was really looking forward to be in this class yesterday. Just got held up and a lot of stuff. But I've enjoyed the class so far with Dr. George. It's always interesting listening to him and insightful as well. In fact, most of the things I was going to talk about, he ended up talking about them. So I just said, let me just enjoy the class. So I want to appreciate us for always showing up here. I want to appreciate Dr. George for always bringing value. My goal tonight was to come and talk about sales closing strategies, right? Strategies for closing deals and for closing sales. And I think it's one area where a lot of salespeople kind of struggle. So for some people, they understand presentation, they understand, prospecting, but closing seems to be a problem. So people, I get people meet me all the time and say, hey, Dave, I've done presentations, I've talked about my product and I think I did a great job, but somehow these guys are not just buying from me, or these guys are not just being a part of my business. What's the disconnect? And I've come to realize it's about closing. A lot of people don't understand how closing works, right? And if you don't know how to close, there's no way you're getting that sale. So you can do an awesome job with presenting, do an awesome presentation. If you do not know how to close the deal, you don't get paid. All right. Let me not go ahead of myself. My name is David Emeni. I'm Africa's #1 business strategist and consultant for network marketing professionals. I'm also a lead strategist for Deliberate CEO International. And I happen to be West Africa, Nigeria's first and only official Grant Cardone licensee. Also the author of the book Undeniable Results. And yeah, closing. So the first thing you want to do, right? First thing you want to get straight is to get your head in the right place. Get your head in the right place. Closing will begin internally before it happens externally. Get your head in the right place. Understand these three things. Number one, the close is not for you. It's not about you. It's not about your desires. It's not about your goals. It's not about the targets you set for yourself. The close is for the customer. And the reason is simple. You see, if you do not close the deal, then you do not bring the customer any benefit, right? If the customer, for instance, you have a great product, an amazing product. Let's say you have a great weight loss product. Let me use weight loss as an example. You have a great weight loss product and you meet this customer who needs your product. You've done an awesome presentation. Your presentation is on point. You've justified the product. You've done all of that, but you've not closed the deal. Until you close that deal, that customer cannot benefit from your product, no matter how amazing the product is. So you need to understand that the close is not about you. The close is about the customer. So you need to, before you go into that sale or into the close, you need to constantly be thinking, how do I bring this customer value? How do I bring this customer value? You need to be obsessed with that. You need to feel bad when you do not close the deal, because not closing the deal means you actually just cheated the customer. That's just what it means. I spoke to a group of people the other day in a training, and I said to them, look, you need to condition your mind to realize that if you do not close a sale or close the deal, then you just cheated the prospect. You just cheated the customer. You just cheated that client, right? So the close is not about you, it's about the customer. Secondly, the close represents 100% of your earnings. If you do not close the deal, you get zero. Nobody pays you for an awesome presentation. Hello, I'll say it again. Nobody will pay you for an awesome presentation. Nobody pays you for prospecting. Nobody pays you for even marketing. Nobody pays you for marketing the products. They'll pay you for closing the sale. right? So until you close, you need to understand that closing that deal actually represents all of your earnings, all of your income, right? And then thirdly, the close is the first time your buyer is going to benefit from you, which is closely related to number one. Until you close, you've not done anything for the customer. So when you close that deal, that's the first time the buyer or the customer or the client will actually truly receive value or benefit from you. So it's important. It's important we have these things straight. It's important we have our heads in the right place concerning these three things. Because if you have these three things sorted out internally, when you go out there to make that close, then Dr. George was talking about confidence. Then your confidence is in the right place. You see, you go out there with your head held high. You're not going with a taker's mentality. A lot of people go into the sale, go into the close with a taker's mentality, not with a giver's mentality. Nobody likes to be, nobody likes for people to take stuff from them, right? People like to be given to. People like to receive. Okay, so if you go with a taker's mentality, you just shut down the prospect. If you go with a giver's mentality, then the prospect opens up to you, or the client opens up to you, right? And these things are going to help you have your head in the right place. So get your head right. Get your head right. Very important. Very important when you're trying to close. You need to get those three things sorted. Next, words you should never use in a close. Number one, no. Number two, I disagree. I shared this in a training recently, and I said to them, you want to always agree with the customer. Do your best. I know it can be difficult sometimes. You meet some clients that just say all manner of stuff. No matter what it is the customer is saying, agree first. Agree first. The moment you start disagreeing with the customer, you have lost that sale. If not for anything, the guy is just going to want to prove to you that he's right, right? So even if at the end of the day, you end up making your points, you're rational, you're logical, the guy just wants to prove to you that he's right, that he's in charge, right? And you don't want that. Your job is not to win the argument. Your job is to close the sale. So focus on closing the sale. Leave the argument alone. It doesn't matter what the argument is about. Your job should be to close the sale. So do not use no, do not use I disagree. Refrain from using the word competitive. So a lot of people go out there and say, oh, well, we are very competitive. We're one of the most competitive. We have the most competitive prices in the market. Like, you don't want to compete with anybody. You want to stand out, not compete, right? Another one is, oh, it's a good deal. This is a good deal. It's a good deal for you. Hello, nobody wants a good deal. Everybody wants a great deal, right? So switch it up. Stop giving people a good deal. Give people great. Nobody wants good if they can get great. So give people great, not good, all right? The next one is, we can't do that. It's not possible. That's the best we can do. There's no way that's going to happen. We won't be able to do it. Avoid all of this stuff, right? All of this stuff will just end up losing you the sale. So when you're in the close, you want to avoid these words as much as possible. They're not exhaustive. There are more of them, but these are just some of them that you should try to avoid as much as possible. So what are the requirements for closing a sale? Number one, most important requirement. I hope we can follow me. Please, if you can hear me, can you just drop a 1 in the chat? If you are following me, if you can hear me, just drop a 1 in the chat. Let me be sure that people are following and I'm not talking to myself. So if you've been following what I've said so far, can you just drop a 1 in the chat box? Let me be certain. Okay, I can see the ones. Thank you, Mark Prince. Thank you, Nonce. I appreciate you. All right. So requirements for closing the sale. Number one, most important requirement, the decision maker. Are you speaking with the decision maker? Are you speaking to the decision maker? Very, very important. And this is why. No matter how great you do your presentation, you go into the close, you handle all the objections. If the person you are talking to is not the decision maker, guess what? You're not going to close the sale. Somebody else needs to make the decision. So you want to get to the decision maker as quickly as possible. The faster you get to the decision maker, the faster you will close that sale. People spend a lot of time, energy, resources selling to the wrong person, right? So you go, whether it's a company you go to, you want to find out who is the final person, who is that one person who needs to sign off on this deal for this deal to fly. That's the guy you want to talk to. That's the guy you want to talk to, not the other guy. The other guy will just listen to you, but can't do anything about it, right? You want to engage the decision maker. So number one requirement for closing the sale, are you speaking to the decision maker? Number two requirement for closing the sale, do they have the wherewithal to close the sale? Can they afford it, right? If they don't have the capacity to do your transaction, then stop wasting your time. Stop wasting, like I said, you need to understand that until you closing the sale represents 100% of your income, right? So if closing this sale is going to determine my income, then why do I want to waste time having a conversation that is not going to lead to the sale? So if somebody does not have the capacity, it means they are going to make zero from that transaction. No matter how many times you have the conversation, this guy will never buy. He doesn't have the capacity. She doesn't have the capacity. So do they have the wherewithal to do this transaction with you? You want to be able to determine that upfront, right? So very important requirement. Number three, you must be sold on your product. Must be sold on your product. Why? It's contagious. If you do not believe in what you're selling, how do you expect somebody else to believe in it for you? If you don't believe in your product, if you don't believe in the value of your business, if you don't believe in the value of your opportunity, if you don't believe in the value of what you're selling, why do you think the customer should? Right? In fact, by the time you show up for that sale, you will subconsciously pass that on to the client, to the customer, to the prospect. You must be 150%, 200% sold on your product. Thank God, Dr. George mentioned it earlier. Be a product of your product, right? Be a product, experiential knowledge. Be a product of your product. It builds confidence. And when you step into a sales conversation with confidence, it's going to be contagious. It's going to be contagious, right? Number four, believe in yourself. So it's not enough to believe in your product. A lot of people believe in their product, they believe in their company, but they have absolutely no belief in themselves. Guess what? People will love your product, people will love your company. If they do not believe in you, they will not buy from you. They will go buy from somebody else. Same product, same company, but they will go buy from somebody else. Same product, same company, they will go do business with somebody else, right? I've spoken with a number. So I'm also a coach for network marketers. And I have a number of people in my coaching programs, and I speak with people, and they say to me, I don't know why I speak to this person. At the end of the day, they go sign up with somebody else. And I say, it's simple. They bought your product, they bought your company, but they did not buy you. Did you hear that? So it's possible for the customer or the prospect to buy your product, buy your company, and not buy you. Again, Dr. George spoke about it earlier on today. People want to buy you before they buy your product, right? So you must have belief in yourself. How do you build belief in yourself? Put enough value in yourself. You can't give what you don't have, guys. You cannot give what you don't have. You can only command value from the marketplace that you have first put in yourself. You cannot command value from the marketplace that you have not put in yourself. So to build belief in yourself, you must first put value in yourself. Number five, be confident in the product, what your product can do, the results your product can generate. If it's a weight loss product, you must be confident that that product is going to generate that result. You are going to transfer that. Again, you are going to transfer that to your customer, to your prospect, to the client. Number six, have a written offer ready, whether it's typed, whether it's online, digital copy. Have an offer ready to present. Not that you finish the sale, the customer says, okay, so what do we need to do next? Let me get back to the office. I'm going to get, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Customer is sold, close the sale. The sale is not closed until the offer is signed, sealed, and delivered. Right? So you can't claim to close the sale until the customer has taken the offer. So have your offer ready. Your offer has to be ready with you, ready to go. I used to work with the bank, and one of the things they always told us back then is wherever you go, before you speak to any customer, always have your account opening document with you. So we always carry the account opening document. Check bankers, there are always your account opening forms. Is it like somewhere they have account opening forms somewhere? Why? You cannot go talk to a customer and it's time to close the deal and you do not have an offer. You've not closed the sale, right? And anything can happen in the seconds or minutes or hours or days or weeks that you leave the customer. So you want to have a written offer available. Number 7, urgency. Very, very critical. Very, very critical. Stop sounding like your offer lasts forever. Stop sounding like your offer lasts forever. Guess what? If you are sounding like your offer lasts forever, your prospect will take forever to take the deal. It will take you forever to close the sale. You must have some form of urgency ingrained in your offer. You must have some form of urgency, whether you're selling online, whether you're selling physically, whichever way you're doing the sale, whether it's a one-on-one presentation, you must have some form of urgency in your offer, right? Find a way to integrate urgency. It doesn't matter what you're selling. Find a way to integrate urgency, whether it's a digital product, whether it's a physical product. Find a way to put in some urgency. Whether you are going to be adding some form of discount. Hey, if you take this deal now, if you close this deal now, I can give you X% off, right? That's a form of urgency. Okay, so include some form of urgency in your offer. It's going to help you close the sale faster. So we've talked about 7 things: the decision maker, wherewithal of capacity, be sold on your product, believe in yourself, have confidence in your product and its results, have an offer ready, and then include urgency in your offer, right? So those are some of the requirements for closing a sale. Now let's look at some reasons why some people struggle in closing deals. Some reasons why people struggle in closing deals. But before we look at that, if you've gotten value from what we've shared so far, can you just type value in the chat box? If what I've shared so far makes sense to you, you've learned something from what I've shared so far, just type value in the chat box. I have very, very limited time. For those of you who know me, you can tell I'm rushing through this presentation, but hopefully I'll be able to give us value through this presentation tonight. If you're getting value from what we've shared, just type value in the chat box. Nonse, I see you. TechnoSpark 2, I see you. Izzy, I see you. Thank you. Glad you guys are getting value. Glad you're getting value. Why do people struggle in the close? Why do people struggle with closing deals? Number 1, no commitment. 0 commitment. Anything goes. They don't close the sale. Oh, whatever, I tried my best. Oh, yeah, I tried. It's not my fault. It's the company. Oh, it's the product. The products are just expensive. That's why. Oh, there's always an excuse. No commitment to greatness. If you are not committed to the process, there is no way you are going to succeed in the close. Not possible. There's just no commitment. And I keep telling people, you will transmit that energy to the client, to the prospect, and they will not close. They will not close. You are wondering why. It's simple. It's from you. That's why belief in yourself is paramount, right? You need to be committed. You need to be committed. You need to be enthusiastic. You need to have confidence enough, right? So number 1, no commitment to greatness. Number 2, shortage of closing material. Shortage of closing material. Guys, I can't emphasize this enough, right? You need to have as many. I said to a group of people the other day, I said, you need to have at least 5 different presentations, 5 different modes of presentations when you go to see a prospect. 5 different modes, different ways in which you can handle whether your product presentation, your business presentation, 5 different ways to do that presentation. You need to have at least 5 different ones, right? You need to know how to handle objections. You need to have answers to questions, to objections. How do you handle objections? How do you pivot away from objections? How do you take people back into the close? How do you handle stalls in the close? Like, you need to have an excess of closing material. Excess. How do you get that? Training, learning, just like we're having tonight. You need to have an excess. The reason why people struggle is because they have shortages. They don't know what to say. They get stuck, right? Number 3, believing price is an issue. This is one thing I will always keep shouting about when I talk to salespeople. Yeah, I mentioned it today. I had a training earlier on today, and I still shared it with them. And I said to them, nobody buys anything based on price. I'll say it again. Nobody buys anything based on price. Nobody wakes up from their house and says, I just feel today like going to the market and looking for something really cheap to buy. Let me just go and look for something cheap. I just feel like buying something cheap. Let me go look for something cheap. Nobody does that, guys. Nobody. So why do you think price is an issue? Price is never an issue. It's never a price problem. It's always a value problem, always. And I shared this today and somebody said to me, but there are people that will be always buy on price. And I said, give me an example. And we're talking about toothpaste. And the guy says, there are people who just always buy a 500 naira toothpaste. And I said, well, the guy who buys a 500 naira toothpaste is simply buying the maximum value he can afford. There's a difference. He's not buying price. He's buying value. It's just the maximum value he can afford, right? So it's not a price problem. It's a value affordability problem. Hello? It's not a price problem. It's a value affordability problem. And I said to the guy, think about it. That guy who is buying toothpaste for 500 naira, give him 1 million naira and see whether he will still buy toothpaste for 500 naira. All of a sudden, the guy is not interested in 500 naira toothpaste anymore. Haven't you seen it happen? Somebody gets money and suddenly they think, so you're thinking, oh, now I'm managing my life with 10,000. I can manage 10,000 in a month. And then somebody's thinking, oh, when I start earning 100, it means I can save 90. Guess what? That guy will not save 90. His cost of living is going to shoot up to meet the 100K because he's going to start looking for value at the level he can afford. Nobody buys price. Everybody shops value. People shop value. People don't shop price. Very, very key. Very, very important. So believing price is an issue is going to make you struggle in the close. And guess what? If you think price is a problem, you are going to transmit that to your client and to your prospect as well. Somebody said to me, why is it that every time everybody I speak to is always telling me that it's expensive, my product is expensive? And I said, check it. You believe the product is expensive. If you believe the product is expensive, you are going to transmit that to your customer. You are going to transmit that to your prospect. And everybody you meet will tell you the product is expensive, right? The objection you face the most is most likely the objection you have yourself. I'll say it again. The objection you face the most is most likely the objection you believe in yourself, right? Number 4, buy the customer story. Buying the customer story. See, customers always have different stories to tell, different stories. The customer will tell you all manner. You tell you both the ones that are true, the ones that are not true, the ones that are borrowed, the ones that are implied, all manner. They have all manner of stories to tell you. If you dig, you realize that all those things, they don't even exist, right? But when you buy the customer story, then you struggle. You need to have your facts straight. Understand the value you are bringing to the table and own it. Have confidence in your product, in your material, in your business, and own it so that you're not swayed by the customer story. Oh, I did this business 3 years ago. In fact, and so person told me that once I do, and people get into that situation and then they just buckle. Oh, this guy has done this thing before. It didn't work for him. Maybe it's not supposed to work. Like you've lost the sale. You've lost it. There's no way you're closing that deal. No way you're going to close that deal, right? So buying the customer story is another reason why people struggle in the close. Number 5, unwilling to pressure. Unwilling to pressure. Some people feel like, I don't want to start sounding as if I'm being overly. Hello, your job, your duty is to close the deal, right? And if you understand that closing that deal is your responsibility, I'll say it again. Closing the deal is your responsibility. It's a responsibility you owe the customer to close the deal. Why? Because until you close the deal, the customer doesn't get the benefit. So not closing the deal means you are cheating the customer, you are cheating the prospect, you are cheating the client off of the value they should have gotten. So if you know that closing the deal is going to give value to this person, then you will not be unwilling to apply pressure in getting that deal closed. Of course, I'm not saying you should be obnoxious. I'm not saying you should be unnecessarily, but apply pressure, right? Don't buckle, apply pressure. Number 6, lack of financial goals. That's another reason why a lot of people struggle in the close. No goals. It's not clear. Their financial goals are not clear to them. If your goals are clear to you, then you know exactly that closing that deal is going to add to you hitting your goals as at when you said you were going to hit those goals. So if you set a goal for ₦1 million, for instance, and you're going to, let's say, it's going to take you maybe 100 sales to make ₦1 million, right? And that's the goal you've set. And you're supposed to do it in 2 months, right? And you've broken that down into days, and you've realized I need to close 5 deals every day if I'm going to hit my goal, right? So every time you go into the sale, you're going to close, because you have set a goal, a financial goal for yourself, you will understand that closing this deal is going to take me closer to my goal. Not closing the deal takes me away and further away from my goal. The reason why people don't put in the work, the reason why people are not committed, the reason why people lack material, the reason why people believe price is an issue, the reason why they buy the customer story, the reason why they are unwilling to apply pressure is because they lack financial goals. No goals. And that's why I tell a lot of salespeople, when I coach salespeople, I tell them, first thing you want to do is set the goal. The goal has to be clear. Break it down. It needs to be clear, tangible, measurable enough, right? Because those are the things that are going to spoil you when you get into the close. Number 7, lack of training. Many salespeople think that they need no training. I just need to wake up, just go talk about my product, talk about my business, then people will join my business, buy from me. It doesn't work that way. You need training. You need to sharpen your skills. Why? Training is going to give you more knowledge. More knowledge is going to build your confidence. Confidence is going to get you the close, right? So lack of training is another reason why people struggle. They don't know what to do. They find themselves in a situation, they don't know how to deal with it. Why? No training. Number 8, not sold. Not sold on your business, not sold on your product. Meaning, see, a lot of people are doing businesses that they themselves will not buy from. A lot of people sell products they themselves will not buy, will not use. They don't believe it. They are not sold on it. They are not sold on the business. They are not sold on the product. They don't believe in it, right? I'm talking cooperative. A lot of people don't believe in it. They don't believe it works. They don't believe it makes any sense. How are you going to sell it? There's no way you're going to close a deal if you do not believe it. If you do not believe in the value of your business, if you do not believe in the value of your product, there is no way you're going to close the sale. You'll struggle. You might close 1 or 2 here and there, but you struggle. You just keep struggling, right? So these are some of the reasons why people struggle to close sales. Time is flying. Okay, so let me run through some of the strategies that are going to help us in the close, right? Strategies to help us in the close. Strategy number 1, attach pain to not closing. 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 I talked about this earlier. You need to take closing your sale personal. If I do not close the sale, I just cheated the customer. If I do not close the sale, I just cheated the prospect. I was in a deal 3 months ago, and it was a deal for 500 million. And I'm there talking with this guy. We've had a number of meetings. And at the end of the day, for some reason, the guys he trusted, to oversee for him could not communicate effectively the value we're offering. And so we were almost losing that transaction. And I remember sitting down there in front of the prospect. And I said to him, sir, I completely understand what you're saying, but I really want to apologize. And he asked me, David, what are you apologizing for? I said, I want to apologize for not bringing you value today. The guy is shocked. The guy's like, I don't understand what you're saying. And I said to him, look, in the next 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years from now, we're going to look back at this transaction and you are going to realize you lost something valuable. And the reason why you're losing it is because I've not been able to communicate the value in this transaction enough for you to understand. And that was coming from a really genuine place. And he could feel that, right? And he made him stop and rethink it. Like, this guy is apologizing for not, like, who apologizes for not closing the sale? Right? Who apologizes for not closing the sale? The guy's like, well, maybe I should rethink this thing or think about it again. You need to attach pain to not closing. Until you attach pain to not closing, you will keep struggling. Attach pain to it. Let it pain you. Let it be painful that you did not close the deal. You go for a sale, you don't close the deal, you come back and you're normal and there's nothing is wrong. Like that's not how you go ahead. That's not how you get ahead. Attach pain to not closing the deal. All right. Number 2, be sold on the close. Be sold on the close. Be sold on the close. You have to believe that that close is possible. There are a number of people who go into sales meetings believing they will not get the deal. I wonder why they do in the first place. So why are you even going? If you don't believe you are going to get the sale, why bother? Why stress yourself, right? Why even go? Why start it? You need to be sold on the deal. You need to be sold on the fact that, look, this transaction, I am going to close this sale. You need to believe it. Right before you show up, you need to believe it. As you're leaving your house, you're leaving your office, headed for the customer's place, headed for the meeting venue, you need to be sold already that this thing is a done deal. It needs to be signed, sealed, and delivered at the back of your mind before you show up. Number 3, all objection can either be classified into time, money, a stall, or the product. So it's either a time objection, a money objection, a stall objection, meaning the customer is just stalling you, trying to buy time, right? And you need to find out why. Why is this guy trying to buy time, right? So you need to understand which of these categories your objection is falling under. And that's where training comes, because again, you need training to be able to identify, okay, if it's a time objection, how do I handle time objections? Customer says, oh, I really don't have the time. I don't have the time. I really don't have that. How do you handle a time objection? If it's a money objection, I don't have the money. How do you handle a money objection? If it's a stall objection, oh, I need to talk to my husband. Oh, I need to talk to my wife. Oh, I need to talk to X. Oh, I need to talk to my village people, right? How do you handle a stall objection? If it's a product objection, how do you handle a product objection? I don't think this product is going to work for me. How do you handle the product objection, right? So understanding that objections will fall in each of these categories will help you better prepare to handle them, meaning you are going to have a plethora of clauses, a plethora of arsenal. You'll be armed with the arsenal to handle those objections. And I keep telling people the best way to handle an objection is before the objection is raised. Again, I'll say it again. The best way to handle an objection is before that objection is raised. Before the prospect raises an objection, be the first to raise it and answer it. That's the most effective way to handle an objection. All right. Next, secret number 4, the urgency secret. We talked about that earlier. You need to know how to add urgency to your transactions. Don't go into any sales call, any closing situation without having some form of urgency. Tell the customer, tell the client, tell the prospect why they need to take the deal now, not tomorrow, not later, not soon, not next week, not next month, not when they pay salary. Now, you need to be able to add that urgency to your offer. Find a way to add it. There are different ways you can add urgency to an offer. Hey, if you take this offer now, I have a program for the first 10 people that are going to come on board this business. I have an offer for the first 10 people. I'm going to give them XYZ digital product. Oh, if you take this offer now, you're going to get my XYZ bonus, right? Find a way to add urgency to the transaction. Find a way to add urgency to the sale. Tell the customer, tell the client why they need to take the deal now. Because if you don't, something else is going to come and take their attention, right? And that's why you want to do that. Number 5, set the stage to close the deal. How do you set the stage to close the deal? Let me give you an example. So say I'm in a sales situation and I'm trying to set the stage to close the transaction. What do I do? Say to the prospect, hey, Mr. Prospect, what I'm going to do now is just show you, before I show you the benefits of using this product. After I show you the benefits of using my product, the next thing I would like for you to do is to get product A, product B, product C. Those are the 3 products that are going to be really effective for you. But before we do that, let me show you why product A, product B, product C are the best products for you to pick. What I've done is I've indirectly told the guy, immediately after I explain to you why these products are great, the next thing you have to do is to buy them. It's indirect, right? It's indirect, but it works because subconsciously I've anchored that person to know that after presentation is you making a purchase. That's the next thing in this transaction, right? So you want to figure out ways that you can set the stage to close the transaction every single time. The more you can do it, the better the results you get in those deals. The more you set the stage, the better the results you get in those deals. I hope somebody is getting value here tonight. I hope somebody is getting value here tonight. I hope somebody is getting value. Prince, I see you. I hope other people are getting value here tonight. I hope we're getting value. All right. So remember, set the stage to close the deal. Set the stage to close the deal. Set the stage to close the deal. Ask questions. Dr. George talked about it earlier. You want to ask as many questions as possible, right? You want to ask as many questions as possible. So, for instance, another way I can set the stage is to say to the prospect, look, there are only two reasons why you won't buy from me today. Number one is either you're not the decision maker, you don't have the authority to sign off on this transaction, right? That's why you're not going to buy from me. Number two, it's either you do not understand the benefits of this product, right? But set the stage. Ask questions, use questions to set the stage. Next, close the door on price. Again, the price thing. Close the door on price. Don't go into a transaction like you go and you sound like you're hawking pepper in the market. So customer says, so can we do 4,000? I go, we can't do 4,000. Let's do 3,800. Customer says, no, I can't do. Sorry, can you do 4,000? No, you say, oh, we can't do 4,000. Let's do 4,800. Customer goes, no, I can't do 4,800. Okay, will you do 4,500? They say, oh, no, okay, let's do 4,700. Close the door on price. It shows that you know what you're doing. Hey, I can't go further on this price. The best I can do on this is X, right? Whatever the price is. This is the price for this product. Again, I'm gonna still talk on price. I'm still going to talk on price. I think, is it the next one? Okay, yeah, I'm still going to talk on price. I'll show you one of the other secrets, but close the door on price. Number 7, have and state clearly a pre-close intention. Have and state clearly a pre-close intention. Before you even begin your presentation, state the fact that you are going to ask for the sale at the end of your presentation. Before you begin, state that you are going to ask for the sale. Here is a brother, today I'm just going to spend this meeting is going to last for the next 45 minutes. In this 45 minutes, this is what I intend to give you XYZ, depending on what you're selling. And at the end of the day, what I would like for you to do is take XYZ product. Or what I'd like for you to do is sign up with XYZ, right? Before I even begin my presentation, I'm setting an intention so that while I'm doing my presentation, the client, the customer, the prospect already knows. So at the back of his mind, he knows, oh, this guy is going to ask for the sale. This guy expects me to buy this product. When I'm doing my presentation, he's going to be focusing on asking the right questions. Is this product the right product for me? Is this something I would like to buy? Is this something I would like to own? He's asking the right questions. So have and state clearly a pre-close intention. Yeah, I said I was going to come back to price. Always be clear on the price. A lot of people go into a sales call, it's like they're afraid to talk about price. They're afraid to call money. So they go and they talk about the product, talk. Like, be clear on your price. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with stating your price. My mentor, Grant Cardone, will say, state your price upfront. In fact, before you start your presentation, state the price, right? State the price. Say, hey, I'm here to sell you this $10,000 product. Let me tell you why you absolutely need to get this product today. And then you start the presentation, right? Why? You stated the price clearly. Now the customer knows this thing is $10,000, right? So when I start my presentation, all he's going to be doing is justify, is this thing really worth $10,000, right? And then my job now becomes to show that whatever it is I'm selling, whatever it is I'm presenting, is actually worth $10,000. But at the end of the day, we will not start haggling on price because I've already stated it early on at the beginning of my presentation. And if I do my presentation right, meaning I'm going to be showing so much value beyond $10,000, such that at the end of the day, the prospect is feeling like, man, taking this thing at $10,000 is a steal. I recently paid somebody for coaching and mentorship. And when I made that payment, I said to the guy, I think this thing is a giveaway. Why? Because the guy communicated the value. I could see the value I was going to get as compared to the price I was asked to pay. I'm like, this is a no-brainer. Like, I don't need to think about it. Why? Price stated clearly upfront. And then I now see the value and I'm looking at the price. I'm like, no. This thing is way worth more than this. Like, yeah, I'm paying this like straight up, right? Not because I have all the money, but because I think this is very valuable. So you want to be clear on price. Be very, very clear on price. Don't be scared to talk about price and money. Don't be scared. State the price. Make it clear enough as possible. Don't say, it will be between maybe, not between. State the price as clearly as possible. Let the client not be in confusion as to what the real price is, right? So always be clear on price. Yeah, so I've talked about this. Introduce your price early. Introduce your price early. So people finish an entire presentation and they do not mention price. In fact, for some people, it's a customer that will start asking, so how much am I supposed to pay? How much? Like, you're allowing the customer to close himself, right? And that seldom happens. So don't allow the customer close himself. Closing the customer is your responsibility. It's not the responsibility of the customer to close himself. It's your responsibility to close the deal, right? So introduce your price early. Number 10, I'll be stopping here tonight. You are mostly always 57% into the close. I'll say it again. You are mostly always 57% into the close. Now, this is what I mean. In today's world, before anybody approaches you for anything, in fact, before you show up and present anything to anybody, they've most likely already done 57% of the work researching that product online, watching reviews, reading reviews, and all whatnot. So before they show up, before they talk to you, before they call you, they are mostly always 57% closed. Understand that and know peace. Understand this and know peace. I remember I use a Samsung S21 Ultra, and I remember going to pick it up at the Konga store. And I remember going to the store, and then, all the sales reps, they just came around. Hey, sir, so what do you want to buy? I said, I'm looking for an S21 Ultra. They're like, oh, yeah, we don't have the S21 Ultra, but we have the S21. The S21 is almost like the S21 Ultra. I'm like, I want the S21 Ultra. I had spent 3 months reviewing that product, watching reviews, watching product reviews, watching unboxing, I had finished buying the phone online before I showed up in the store. I just came to the store to pick it. I was already closed. The sales rep did not need to sell to me again. Like, just close the deal. Stop selling. And that's another thing. It's not here, but let me just drop this. It will help somebody. You need to understand when you need to stop selling and start closing. A lot of people, when you are meant to close, you are still there trying to sell. The customer has already bought the product, but you are still there selling. And what happens is, at the end of the day, you now lose the sale because you oversold. Somebody needs to get this. Somebody's spirit is drawing me. I hope the person is hearing this. Look, when you've closed the sale, when you've gotten to the close, understand when you are in the close and stay closing. Don't be tempted to go back to selling when you are in the close. Don't do it. When you're in the close, it's not the time to go back and try to convince the customer about the benefit of the product. No. It's the close. Close the deal. Stick with closing the deal. That's not the time to go back and start doing the presentation again. No. Stay with the close. Stay with the close. So people stretch the sale till they lose the close. So you did your presentation, and when you talked about the benefits of the product, the customer was excited about it. And at that moment, all you needed to do was say, so are you ready to pick up the product now? How many pieces will you need? And the deal is done. But instead of asking the customer, which is closing the sale, how many pieces do you need? Instead of doing that, you saw that the customer was excited. So you now decided that you were going to talk about more of the benefits. Then you now went and you mentioned one benefit that the customer now remember that, this thing you just mentioned, did you say that this thing contains XYZ? That thing, the last time I used it, it didn't really work for me. You've lost the sale. End of transaction. End of transaction, right? So you need to understand that mostly, you are 57% into the close. And that's why in your presentation, in your sales calls, you want to always ask for the close as many times as possible. Asking for the close doesn't need to come at the end of your presentation. You mustn't finish your presentation to ask for the close. Because, in fact, by the first 10 minutes of your presentation, it's possible you've already closed the deal. That's your introduction. The customer has already bought your product. Introduction alone. If you just made the sale there, asked for the sale there, the customer would have bought it. But you continued. You didn't ask for the sale. So you need to always ask for the sale. Ask for the sale as many times as possible. So have you seen enough to make a decision right now? Customer says, I would like to know more. Then you can proceed. But you can ask that question. Have you seen enough to make a decision right now? Customer says, yeah, I think I've seen enough. So how many pieces will you need, right? End of transaction. Close the deal, right? So you are mostly always 57% into the close. And that's secret number 10. And that's where I'll be stopping tonight on closing strategies. I hope somebody got value tonight. So I have a free offer for us. Just go to davidemeni.com/free offer and you'll get a free book, 20 rules for closing the sale. 20 rules for closing the sale. davidemeni.com/free offer. You can go check it out and get it and have fun. Feel free to also book a strategy session if you feel the need to for your business, and we'll get to talk. But I hope somebody got value tonight. Please drop value in the chat box. If you got value from this presentation tonight, please drop value in the chat box. Drop value in the chat box. If you got value here tonight, just drop value. Eze, I see you. Thank you, my prince. I see you. Glad you got value tonight. I'll take our questions if there are any questions. If there are no questions, our time is fast spent. We're 30 minutes beyond our usual closing time. So I wouldn't want to keep us any further. Thank you, Dr. George, for the opportunity. I appreciate you. Thank you, Armstrong. I see you. Emmy, I see you. I'm glad you guys got value. I'm excited you got value. I'm looking forward to another opportunity to have these conversations with us on sales strategies, how you can close, how you can overcome objections, how you can get better results in your presentations, and all of that. Looking forward to that. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate us all and have a lovely evening. Dr. George, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, David and May. Amazing session we had with you. I'm sure you got so much value, and this stuff is recorded. So we're going to most likely get it. We can listen to it again and again and again and again. All right, so that's the size of it today. Since we don't have any questions, someone is saying, please, we need your info so that we can. All right, so whatever the situation is, go to davidemeni.com/free offer and get those materials. All right, so we're going to see again tomorrow. We have a solid speaker joining us tomorrow. We have 2 more days. We have 2 speakers, one from Kaduna and one from Lagos. They'll be sharing great ideas with us on how we can move our business to the next level. I know you don't want to miss it. As we come to the end of this 5th gear session, okay, that's it. www.davidemeni.com/free offer. Make sure to take advantage of the opportunities. If you just came for the first time, this is ecooperative.africa. We're a platform that helps you raise funds and also help you learn, because we know that if you learn, you can earn. And you can go to www.ecooperative.africa/promo and get to understand how to join the business. You can also go to www.ecooperative.africa to see what you need to know. Everything is there on the website. You can also click on www.ecooperative.shop to see our shop you can sell and buy. And if someone invited you, ask the person for a referral link so you can get started almost immediately. Great opportunity. So we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great, great evening. Don't come late tomorrow because the research person has so much value to share with us about how to really get results in business. You don't want to miss it for anything. God bless you and see you tomorrow.